Hi guys, welcome back. Nigel here with you. Part 11 now of the Gannet build, and it's been a month since I've picked this up. As I've told you in the past, I will only ever work on stuff if I really want to work on it, and I haven't really wanted to do this for the last month, but I want to get it done now and get her all finished up, and then I can put her in my finished builds pile for this year, and I think this will be number 1. No, well, we've done the E4, didn't we? The Fokker. I'm sure we've done other stuff as well, but anyway. So the trouble is, I pick up these big projects, they take forever, don't they? And then I get fed up with them and put them down. So we've basically got pretty much everything painted up and ready to go. We got all our weapons in here. We've got the spindle there for the prop. That's the word I was looking for. We won't put that on until last. The weapons won't be weathered because they'll be all like new, so they'll be a nice contrast against the weathered aircraft. So we've got all our rockets to go on. Probably use super glue for a lot of this. Now we also have to think very carefully about how we go about this, because obviously if we now go and put the wings on, it's going to be very fragile when it comes to turning it over to do the bomb bay. If I do the bomb bay, okay, with the bomb doors and everything, it's going to be very fragile to turn it over and put it down to get the wings on. So I think what we need to do is work on the underside first, get the undercarriage on, so we can get the bomb bay done and everything, get that all done, completed, finished, so we don't need to turn it over again. And then, once we're happy that's all done, then, and the undercarriage is on and everything, then we can get on with the wings. Because once it's on its undercarriage like that, we put the wings on, we won't be able to turn it over again. I don't think it's going to be strong enough. We've also got antenna and stuff to go on here. Notice I've still got all the masking on the windows. This is the ASK mask set, which I always find is absolutely brilliant, and the sponge in there and the bits of tape around there are my addition. But as you can see, she's looking lovely, and I know Wendy would be proud of this. She'd like it very, very much indeed. So I've just noticed a bit of poor masking there. I do need to get a wash on these weapons just to we'll just tone them down a bit, but I don't want to make them look all horribly weathered. So I think probably the first thing to do is get the undercarriage on. Because although it's going to be fairly flimsy, you'll have to be a bit careful working around it. I also need to do some work on this bomb bay, don't I? Because I haven't weathered that or oiled it. But I want to get it so that I can put these gear bay doors on and not worry about them breaking off. So they're going to go on that, and they don't really have much of a contact area. So we'll have to see what we can do with that. So, but they're all done, ready and weathered to go on. We've got all the actuators and stuff over here. I believe these are the bomb, some of them are their wing. There's all sorts of different bits and pieces. You can see in here we've got gear doors, we've got gear made up, all decorated and everything. We've got the wheel backs glued on. Remember, I'm using the beautiful res kit resin wheels for this. We've got the nose gear there, which is lovely. So yeah, we've got quite a lot of work to do, and I want to get it all done in this video. But the first thing I need to do, I think, is get a wash into this bomb bay and get it dirtied up a bit. Right, so done a little bit of work. I have dry brushed the front nose gear bay. I have dry brushed and washed the bomb bay, so you can see it's got a bit of a metallically clunky look to it. That is basically a very light aluminium dry brush. I've gone in with a black brown wash in the wheel bays, and I've done a black brown wash in the nose gear bay. So a little bit of work gone on there. I've assembled these depth charge things, whatever you want to call them. I started filming it and then I turned the camera off because the language would have offended. They are a nightmare to get together. You can see here in the instructions you have to glue these 3 down into there and then glue these 2 on top. And you're always sort of pushing against yourself. You're holding these and then trying to put them on, but it's pushing those brackets away. So it's quite awkward. So I've gone for this option here, weapon load 1. Those 2 parts there, J11, are already glued in, as you can see. So I've scraped some paint from them. And glued them on. So we've got that there, okay, on the bottom. And then what I'm going to do now is put these in. And in typical Airfix style, we should go over the page, yes, so we can see how this goes. And it's kind of equidistant from the back of the torpedoes to the rear bulkhead, so that's good. This is something other manufacturers need to pick up on. Show us where things go, please, because it's so bloody difficult to try and guess. You know, the trouble is when the guy that wrote the instructions So I'm going to use my new plastic weld cement for this, or not plastic weld, plastic magic. Yeah, the guy that writes the instructions obviously knows the subject, but they need to forget that when they're actually doing the design, because we don't know what we're looking at. You know, some will know the subject inside out, some will have researched it to hell, but most won't. So that's going to sit on there like that. And this plastic magic cement is very hot, so it should sort of get an immediate weld going on. I'm putting quite a lot on there because I don't want them falling out. Come on, get on, go on. There we go. Struggling to find the hole then. Right. So we can see they're together like that. And I want to make sure they're straight. Yeah, so they should be following that rail there, that main rail. They should sort of follow the center line, should follow that. So there we go, they're on like that. So now we have these, and that track is in the middle of them. So if we remove some paint from here and from here, it actually looks like we've got some cutouts here. It looks like it's designed to go into there. So what I'm going to do is actually remove some paint from inside there. I'm going to cough. So there we go, that just fits in there like that. Don't push too hard, push on the bottom ones, because the bottom ones are what is connected to the block. So there we are, so that's our weapons in. So it's starting to look very nice, isn't it now? Get the top on that because it stinks. All we've got left in there now is our propeller boss. We've got all our rockets over there, they're going to go on the wings in a minute. So that's that. Now then, what we could do, look at actually is getting those rockets on those wings, and then they'll be good and hard when we're ready to fit them. When we're ready to fit the wings, I mean. So I'm going to get those on. All I'm going to do is remove some paint from here, remove some paint from the little locations on the rockets, and they're literally going to sit on there like that. And I know that some of you keyboard warriors will be telling me that this is not correct because it wouldn't be sat there with folded wings with rockets on. I realise that. But I also realise that it may well be armed, ready to go, and it's got its wings folded up for room. Don't know. I don't think it would be stored on the airfield with its wings folded with the with weapons on for a second, but I do think they may arm them up if they know they're going out, or if they're on a constant call out. So we'll scrape these. As I say, this glue is very hot, so you know, doing this is really a bit of a formality, but hey ho. Right. So we'll get a drop of the plastic magic in there and in there. And then we'll do the front one first because that's more obvious. And then the back one can just pop in. And then if we look at it from behind, like that, we can get the cross of the fins sort of even, if you know what I mean. Just do one more. In there and in there. Hold it like that, put the front one in first. Oh yeah, this is getting awkward now with not a lot of room in there. There we go. So that's 2 of them on. So we'll get the rest of them done, and then they'll be ready when we're ready to fit the wings. They'll be good and dry. So I'll get the rest of those done and I'll be back. Okay, so we've got all our rockets on. They're all done. As you can see, what a lovely looking model this is turning out to be. Right, so we have our actuators here for the gear doors, and as you can see, they're all painted. And you might be wondering, how did I actually know which is which? So what I've done on the instructions, you can see I've got 0, got 2, and I've got 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what I've done on the back, I've just taken a drill, so you can see I've got a 1 on there, so I know that that one is the rear. What's that? The other way up is the rear left, isn't it? So I know that that one is going to go into there, like that. All right, so what I'm going to do, I should have done this before I put the weapons in. I'm just going to remove some paint from that lump, do the same on that side. We'll do the same down here. Once we get some contact, I mean this plastic magic is very hot, so as I say, it doesn't really matter about the paint too much. So that's a number 1. So as I say, that's that one there, so I know that one's going to sit in there. So again, that's going to need a touch of wash again. So we'll just get down into there. I'm not sure I got enough cement in there then. I don't need it falling out, as I say. Okay, so that's in there like that. And then I've got the other side, which is the big one. That one's going to go in the back, like so. There we go, like that. As you can see, this is why I don't want to be putting this thing down without undercarriage on it. And then this one is going to go in here, obviously. So that one's going to sit in there. It's so nice having all these detail parts painted, because otherwise you're forever stop start all the time. Drop cement in that one, and then finally this one here. I can't believe I've gone all through this build without snapping any of these off. I'm bound to snap one off now I've said that. Just give that a nudge. Get some cement into that one, just like that, and then give it a little push. There we go. So that's those done. So we've got the chrome on the arms, we've got the silver on the legs, we've got the green on the ends and the green on the other end. So yeah, lots of detail painting going on there. So there we are, that's our Bombay with our doors ready to go on. I'm going to let those actuators dry first. I'll put a bit of oil wash in there after, because I'll probably have to go out and touch some other bits in as well. Right, looking now at the undercarriage, just let those dry. The first thing we have to do is fit these doors. If you remember, the clever Pranjit, I'm sorry if I've just destroyed your name, had us fit these and test fit them before we put the wings together, and that way we get a lovely fit. So we know they're going to fit in there lovely. So I'm going to take a drop of this plastic magic and just bung some in each hole like that. And then I'm going to take the gear door, push that all the way home. So, just like that, and then same on this side. I assume they go all the way in like that, do they? Yes. You almost don't need cement on these. It's almost like they just stay there on their own, because I think the legs are going to trap them in anyway. So yeah, push them fully home. So that's those in. And then main gear legs are going in, and got this little actuator here going in. Done the decals, assembled these parts here already, they're all done. I've also got the wheel backs on. So let's get our main undercarriage legs. There's two of them there. And then that small actuator part is one there. And is it that one or that one? It's that by the look of it. Those two other ones are for the nose gear. So they've got that one, that one. Am I missing a part, or am I just stupid? Let me have a little search. Okay, got it. It was in this box with all these bits. Right, so we can get these legs. So this is clearly this is the, what's that? That's the starboard side. So that trying to think how this goes now. So that leg is going to sit in there. Okay, that's going to sit on top of that by the look of it. Alright, so that's come out without breaking. I just want to look at the instructions and check how that goes in there, because they're not showing us very well. Okay, that leg there, the end of this one, is going to sit on top of that little step. I'll show you in a minute. So we've got, obviously, we've got that main location there. We've got that little tiny location there for the forward facing, and we've got that little step there. I'm just going to remove the paint from there. I'm going to remove the paint from in there as well. I'm not going to worry too much about that one. It's quite a weighty little thing, this, with all the weight in the nose. Get some paint out of there, and we'll get some paint off of there. Ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to put a drop of cement in there. So now that leg is going to go down into that hole, and it just falls into position, probably because I've already built it up. Get some cement down in there. Whoops, and pull it straight back out again. And I'm going to put a drop on there. Here we are. And there we go. That's bloody gorgeous, isn't it? And then we've got this little actuator here. I'm going to cut the top off and just sand away the nib. That sanding stick is absolutely shot. Let's get back to one of my icky sticky ones, which are brilliant. There we go. And then we can put that leg into the hole in the undercarriage and then slide that in, down and in. Come on! So that's got in there, drop in there, job done. And that undercarriage leg, as you can see, is fitted. Quite fiddly, but doable. Okay, so I'll get the other one done, then we'll look at the nose gear. Right, so nose gear. First thing, I'm going to put this part in here, F6. That's going to go into there. We've already done all this, and then we're going to put the nose gear leg in. So this piece is going to go in here facing that way and sit in that hole in there. So what I'm going to do is come in from this side where the leg's going to go and put some cement under it, and that'll capillary around. So that's cool. There we go. And then the main undercarriage leg is going to go in. Now I'm looking forward and it's looking like something is going to slot up under there. Under there. So I'm going to remove some paint from here. Okay, and then this is going to go into that hole. Okay. So we'll put some cement into there, and that will act as like a lubricant. There's enough in there actually. And then we'll put this leg in, oleo facing back. As you can see, that falls in there easy now because the glue has acted like a lubricant. And they're going to put some more in there. There we go. Right, and then this part here now, F5. It's going to go over the leg. So this part here is going to go over the leg, up under there, and then into those two holes. Right, okay, so there's two holes there in the undercarriage bay, one there, so they've gone in, and then that is going to sit up into there. Right. Drop of cement on there, drop on there, and a drop on there. And now that we've got that lubricated, it should all go together completely. And then this leg has got to come over and forwards to meet that there. If I did another one of these, what I would do is glue it to the leg first and then put it in so you get a nice square solid joint. I'm just going to have a look at it and check that it's all square, and we can always tweak it afterwards. That's looking very nice indeed, and it should stand on its... Oh dear, don't whack it noise, you idiot. Bloody buffoon I am. Keep making mistakes lately. There we go, so that's sat on its leg, on its gear. That front leg's nice and straight. That's glued in nicely there. That is that. Then we've got our gear doors to go on. So we've got our main, it's asking us to put the front gear doors in first. They just literally glue into two little pockets in the sides of the fuselage. Got our little sanding stick again. Just like so, and then the gear doors go on. You can see you have two little feet, one ledge sticking out longer than the other. The longer end goes forward. I'll bet this just clips in here and sticks. I'm not sure how they're supposed to go. They've got to be more open than that. So I'm guessing that's it. So that can sit like that, and then we'll get the other one off its bit of sprue, whacking it again, you bloody idiot. I don't know, getting too old for this, I think. Right, so that one should go in there the same and just sit there on its own. Yep, it does, because it's such a well engineered kit. I would say, guys, this is one of the nicest kits I've ever built. It really is a pleasure to build. There we are. There's the front gear doors in. Okay, and then the main gear doors, they have a little chamfer on them, and the chamfer goes to the rear. Okay, so we need to remove some paint from them. So then that one is going to go in there like that. Look how it all just goes together. It's just beautiful, isn't it? For some reason that door keeps wanting to pop in at the front. And now that one's just fallen off. Tell you what, we'll let those dry before we start messing around with these. It looks like I actually didn't get any cement on them. Maybe I was not touching it with the brush or something. We definitely got some on there now. I don't want to play with it too much because it'll mess the paint up. There we go. You can see what it's done to the paint there. Look. It might shrink back. We could possibly put some streaks of something down there. Weathering is a great tool for hiding stuff. Yeah, that one's not glued in either. It's a bit weird. Maybe I'm not getting enough glue in there. I thought this stuff was supposed to be like the best cement around, and I gotta be honest, I don't think it's very good at all. I bought it for a kit with problem plastic, and it doesn't stick that. I must get some of the Plastrex stuff, the EMA glue. That stuff's awesome. There we go. Right. There we are. I'm going to leave those to dry before I start messing around with the main gear door, so I'll see you back in a minute. Okay, so I have discovered this stuff is not very good at all. It says on our glues ABS and all this, that and the other, but it's not working with this at all, and this is Airfix. I mean, and I know there's some paint on there, but I'm using Tamiya Extra Thin Quick Setting now, and everything's just going on straight away and gluing. I glued these tiny little actuators to the doors using this stuff, and then left them sort of 5 minutes, and then they just fell off. They just broke away like, you know, like they'd never been glued in place. So yeah, not recommended. This stuff here, put it in there, 2 minutes later it's on. Right, so I had a quick look at these Bombay doors, and they look as though they're going to be a very, very weak addition, because they fit onto these actuators, as you can see, and there's no real other contact with the aircraft. They're not really touching anything else. So what I'm going to do here is put a drop of cement in there, and I'm going to put a drop of cement in there, and I think that is about it. Oops, as you can see, not the best. So I don't really know what I'm going to do about these, other than just leave them like that and hope for the best. Do one at a time, perhaps. Maybe the door. Okay, it will sit on that little step there. It will sit on there, so I can perhaps put a drop of cement on either side of that one. As I say, any little bits we mess up, we'll just put some oil streaks or something there. Yeah, that gear door just moved. So it looks like it only has one hinge point there. I've just, oh, for God's sake. You can't touch anything on here like there's something else breaking. It's all very, very fragile. So there we are. That's, I think that's the best we're going to get there. So let's get some more cement in there, and I'm just going to leave this to dry. If I can have some bloody cement on the brush, please. Here we go again. I need to top it up is what I need to do. There we go. As you can see, these doors were done with the plastic magic and they're still movable now. And that was about 15-20 minutes ago. So, yeah. Right. So we're going to leave that to dry. I think it'll probably stay there on its own. I think it's just, if you as much as touch them, they're going to break off. Can I put it down on its undercarriage? Yes. So we don't need to fit the wheels yet, is the main thing. Those undercarriage doors are lopsided, so I'm going to have to sort that out now. I'll do this off camera because I'm going to start shouting and swearing. You can see she stood upright, and while I've been off camera, I got these Bombay doors fitted. They fell off a load of times. What I ended up doing was putting a drop of thin super glue just down in here. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll cover that with some matte varnish or something. But that's just allowed me to sort of lock them in place. They're glued here. I think the issue with the cement is something to do with this paint. I mean, normally Tamiya paint, whatever paint you use, it will work away with the glue, but in this situation it doesn't seem to be. And I wonder if it's the outlaw paints. Maybe they're that good they resist the paint, the glue, I don't know. But yeah, certainly having trouble gluing these parts, I can tell you that. And as you can see here, that one is still not glued in place. So yeah, it's a bit weird. As Elton John said, it's a little bit funny. So getting these doors to line up is a nightmare. But there we are. So there we go. So you can see I've got the wheels on as well. These main wheels just literally press fitted on. They didn't even, because I had the hubs already glued on. But the actual tyre in the centre, the fronts are glued on. They're the lovely res kit wheels. So there we go. So there she is sat like that. You can see her there, how she looks. You can see all the... I glued that bit in as well. But there we are. So that's been about half an hour, and I'm going to call that a day for this one because I want to get a video out for you today. Today being Saturday the 21st of September 2024. So I'm going to call that a day for that one. It's been a quick one. And then in the next video we'll get the wings and everything on. And as you can see, they're going to look pretty stunning, sat on there with their weapons and everything on them. So that's all we've got now. We've got the nose spindle. In fact, that may as well go into that pot there. And then we've got that pot can go back in the storage. So we can use that one again. This little one can go back in the storage. We can use that one again. And then all we've got now is this large curry sauce pot with a few bits and pieces in. And we've got a few actuators and that for the wings. and we've got our props in there, and we've got some antenna and stuff there. So very, very little of it to do now. So it's just a case of getting it finished. I'm going to have to be very, very careful with the washing and the streaking and everything because everything is so fragile. These gear doors are just a nightmare. And I think it's because of the glue or the paint or the combination of the two or whatever it is. But there we go. We got there in the end. So I'm going to call it a day there. I'm going to say goodbye. And I will see you all very, very soon. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get done of this. I've actually, today is Saturday. On Thursday night I fell off my bike. I don't know if it was a blow. I haven't looked at it yet. I don't know if it was a blowout or a very fast puncture, but the tyre came off the back as I was going around a corner, and I sort of corrected the bike and ended up going ass over tit over a curb. So yeah, I landed on my right shoulder, and now I can't lift my arm or anything. I can do that. It's absolutely fine. But if I removed my left arm now, my right arm would fall on that model. I can lift from the elbow, but I can't lift from the shoulder. It is getting slightly better. It's only been 48 hours, not even 48 hours yet. So we are getting there. But yeah, me and bikes don't go together, do they? So I will see you all soon. Thank you for watching. As I say, I know Wendy would have loved this. She would have loved this to bits. So and she actually bought me this model. So there we go. Right, I will see you very soon. Thank you for watching. I just said that, didn't I? See you for part 12. Bye for now.